What's up, guys? My name is Joshua Moss, and I'm going to be working on a training video here soon for my parents' company. And I thought that I would just try to get into this video to get some. I thought I'd just try to get into this video to get some experience before I made it because this is kind of new to me. But I'm going to give it a shot. So, let's get to it, shall we? So, how about this? How about we practice by getting a little bit of a backlight going on, and let's go from there. Let's just see exactly how to do it, because I don't know. Anyways, let's just get right into it.
So I've decided that for this video, I'm going to make a training video for my girlfriend because she's starting YouTube soon and she's not really sure on how to edit. So I figured this could kind of help explain some of the simpler things to her. Now I'm going to be using two different softwares to record and to edit the video that you're seeing now. To record the screen that I'm on right now, I'm using OBS, and I also use this to get some other things such as music as well as sound effects. And what you're looking at right now is Davinci Resolve, and this is how I edit my footage. You can download both of these applications for free, so all you have to do is download them to your computer and then figure out how to open them. What I'm doing right now is I am taking the audio that I had recorded from my studio microphone and connecting it to the audio from the video itself from my camera. So you're probably not going to have to do this step, but if you do, all you have to do is import both your video and your audio and then match them up before deleting your audio from your camera. And you can do that by locking the video in place with this button and then clicking on whatever clip you're wanting to delete. In our case, it is the audio, and just deleting it and then re-clicking the unlock button just to unlock it, and then from there you're good. But you're just going to want to make sure you keep an eye on when you're moving both clips, because since they're not linked together, you're not going to be able to click one and move both. The best way to fix this is by selecting your audio and your video and then going to clip in the top selection bar, and then a drop down menu will come down and you can select link clips, and that should link the two clips together so you can move them both around freely together. One of the first tools you'll want to learn is the blade tool, because this tool allows you to cut out specific sections of your footage or isolate pieces so you can edit them in their own way. The only thing with this tool is that you want to make sure that when you're done with it, you go back to the selection tool, because if you don't, you can accidentally cut your footage and it can mess your workflow up. If you do accidentally cut your footage, you can always hit Ctrl-Z and it'll go back one action and fix whatever you just did. You can do this multiple times, but just be careful. If you go back one too many times, you can always hit File and Redo, and it'll bring back the action that you just deleted. But if you go back too much and then start working on something else before hitting Redo, all that history that you have backspaced on will get deleted, so there's no way to actually get that back. Now what I'm doing is bringing all the clips closer together so that there's no black space in between the clips, because that can show up if the clips aren't butting right up next to one another. And if you are adding audio from a different video or source, then you want to make sure that your clips are the same length with the audio and the video, because if they're not, it can create a little bit of a space in between each clip and it can include that black space in between. So just be careful and make sure that all your clips are the same. Now that I have all my clips together, I noticed that my snap from the no backlight to the backlight scene didn't really line up the way that I wanted it to, so I inputted a sound effect that I had pulled from YouTube using the OBS, and I isolated the snap sound, raised the volume by using that white line in the green bar, and it'll show the icon when you're on it, so you just click it and hold it and then you can move it. And then I brought it into the section where I pulled the audio back, and now there is a more cohesive flowing snap sound that doesn't sound weird. Now that I've added that snap sound effect, I notice I'm a little farther away in the second clip, so I want to kind of change that to make it look as if though it's natural going from clip to clip. So what I'll want to do is go to the inspector tab, and then I will use the zoom feature to zoom in a little bit and try to match it with the previous clip. Now make sure that you're on the first frame for this, and it's going to get a little more advanced, but you'll want to hit the white button just on the right side of zoom, and that'll create a keyframe. The button will then turn from white to red, and what this does is it tells the program that when this clip starts, you want it to be at this specific zoom in angle or distance. And then what you'll want to do is go to the last frame of that very same clip, and then you can rechange the zoom back to 1. So that is the full frame of what the screen is. Then it'll automatically create another keyframe for you, and it'll create that red button on the side. And this is telling you, or this is you telling the program that this is what you want the angle or zoom to be by the end of the clip. So then when you go back and rewatch the clip, it starts at 1 frame and it'll slowly fade out to go back to its original state. And then it will match with my next clip going into the next part. Now, the last thing that I'm going to want to do to the video itself is zoom in and put the text in where I hit my hat against the pop filter near the beginning of the video. So what I'm going to do is find a section right before my hat hits, and I'm going to use the blade tool to cut it there, and then I'm going to go about a second or two after that, and I'm going to cut it again. So now this is one clip that can be moved independently from the other clips. The reason I'm doing this is because now that I have this clip, I can edit it, and it will not edit any other section of the video. So it can go to this specific part, and then once it's done, it can revert back to the original video. Now that I have my clip separated, I'm going to go back to the inspector tab, and I will use the zoom feature again to bring it in. I'm going to bring it in a little bit more than the last time, and after that I'm going to use the X and Y positionings right under the zoom to be able to get it moved over and up some to where I want it to be. Now I want to add the text into the frame, so what I'm going to do is go to Toolbox, and under Toolbox you will find Titles, and then under Titles you will find Text Plus, and what you'll do is click, hold, and drag it onto your timeline above your footage. Now the original thing that it'll say is title, but you can change that. You'll just want to first kind of figure out where you want it to be in your video, and then you can go under the inspector tab and you'll be able to change the type. You can change the position of it, doing the same things we have done before. The only thing is you'll want to go to the tab right beside text, and it'll be where or how the text is displayed on the screen. Now what I'm doing is adding my intro into it, and I made this before, so I just have to drag and drop it in. But if you want to learn how to, I can make a video later. And then I right click on the right edge of the clip, and I add a 12 frame dissolve because it kind of cuts off a little awkwardly at the end. And then I also add another 12 frame dissolve at the very beginning of the clip that starts the video to also kind of let that ease into the video. Now the final thing that I did for this video as a whole is inserted some music, and I recorded this music on YouTube using the OBS software. And the only thing that you want to make sure with this is that you are finding royalty-free music, because if you don't find royalty-free music, it could be copywritten and you could have a portion of your video taken down or your whole video taken down if you aren't careful. So now that I'm at the very end of editing this video completely, I just wanted to show you what the timeline looks like with everything done. This is with editing after showing you the editing that I did for the original video. So as you can see, even though it's only a 9.5 minute video, it can get pretty time consuming if you have a lot of different things to do. So that's pretty much everything I did for this video in terms of editing. Of course, there's plenty of other things like color grading that you can do, but I'm going to try to go over that in a later video because there's still some things that I want to learn on that myself. But if you like the video, leave a like, and if you have any questions, comment below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.